Okay, so I have my loom warped and ready to go, but there's one more thing I want to do because I want to make sure that my warp strings stay aligned nice and neatly. So I'm going to take a pencil, or you can also take a pen, something that you can draw a straight line with. And then you need to find a ruler, and where I am right now, I have a ruler, so I'm going to take just a piece of paper, and I'm going to fold this edge over so I get double thickness. And what I want to do to make sure that I'm weaving nice and straight, I'm going to line this up on the front side, take my pen, and make sure my pen is working here. I'm going to pull back this first string and line up the notches, and I'm going to draw a mark very carefully. If you have a ruler, it works much better. I just don't have one where I am at right now. Okay. So you can see the line that I made from notch to notch. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side of my loom. This is going to help me keep my weaving lined up and going nice and straight. It's one of the biggest mistakes I see my students make is that they start weaving and then their weaving comes in like this because they're pulling too tightly, and you don't want that to happen. Okay, I'm going to set this aside. Now I'm going to take my first string, my first color, put it on my needle. Okay, and then I'm going to start weaving. I'm going over and under to create just a simple tabby weave, a plain weave. You can see that I've gone over and under the entire way, and now I'm going to pull this through, being careful not to knot. I don't want to get any knots in the yarn. And I want this to come all the way about like that. Now here's where I use my fork to come in and pull these out of the way. So a fork works great for that. And I have some tape. While I'm here, I'm going to tape these pieces on the back so they stay out of the way. All right, so I've gotten through one time, and you can see over here I came out on top. So now I'm going to start under. Oops. Okay. Now here's where students get into trouble. They want to pull this tighter than it needs to be. Remember this mark we made? You want that first string to not be pulled in at all because you don't want to see the mark you just made with the pen. if this is woven correctly, that first or that pen mark should still be hidden. Okay, now we've ended over here, and don't pull it too tight, remember? So I end on top. Now I'm going to start again and go under. Okay, I'm just going to weave until I run out of yarn now. Okay, that is about 1 inch. If you measure from here to here, it's about 1 inch now. And I'm just going to cut off. I'm going to leave about 2 inches or so. That's probably more like 3. But I think I'm going to switch to my next color now. So my next color in my selection here is navy blue. So I'm going to thread my needle with the navy blue, and I'm going to continue as if it was still this same color. So I came out on top. This color, the turquoise, is on top of the orange yarn. So I'm going to leave it on top. I'm going to pretend this is still connected to that. I'm not going to tie it, but I'm just going to continue weaving. So I came out on top. So now I start on the bottom. All right, and as I get to the end of my yarn, I want to be careful not to pull it through, but I'm going to leave a tail, just like that. And I'm just going to leave it hanging off to the side, and I will work with these at the end of the weaving. So just don't worry about it right now, and then continue on as if you were still just weaving a plain weave.